What's going on, guys? Back at it again with another Ember build here for you guys on the channel. This one in particular I'm calling Shock Therapy. Simply put, she's a healer, a great one at that. I was actually pleasantly surprised at the effectiveness of Ember being a healer. It's kind of weird because her passives aren't even really designed for healing capabilities, although we'll get into it in a second, but although the critical chance does help slightly, it's not really tailor focused for healing. But I was pleasantly surprised to find out that Ember is actually a pretty decent healer, not because of her passives, not because of her ultimate, but rather because of her diverse set of skills. Essentially, she can play anything, any role, and still be pretty decent. Very excited to jump into this one, guys. If you are too, do me a huge favor, drop a like on the video. Also subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed, because it really does help this channel grow. So with that being said, let's jump right into it. Alright guys, so I want to start off in her companion skills, or in her Khajiit skills, only because it's kind of weird how this build ended up. It's like I said in the intro, this build surprised me in every shape and form, because her cunning skill doesn't have anything to do or doesn't give you any real advantages in terms of heals. What it does is increases critical chance by 3% and damage done by 3%. So critical chance, I guess, maybe I can refrain a little bit or digress a little bit in what I just said. It does help a little bit in critical heals. However, the fact that she has to deal a critical hit and heal in order for this to work really just makes her less than optimal. However, it does help to a slight extent that critical chance. She'll be essentially just a critical heal. So it's okay, I guess, but it wouldn't be my number one choice. However, like I said, it pleasantly surprised me, this build did. So in the number one slot, as I always do, Rejuvenation. Ember shares their staff's life-giving energy, healing themselves and a nearby ally for 9,960 health over 8 seconds. The cooldown on this is also at a 10.4 seconds at our current setup, but this skill is a fantastic heal over time. It literally gives you a massive 9,960 heals over the period of 8 seconds. So every tick, she will be giving you a little bit of heals, which is absolutely fantastic. The HOTS in this game for companions are absolutely amazing, so I highly recommend this specific skill on any healer build. In the number 2 slot, Mystic Fortress. Mystic Fortress reads as, Ember calls on their staff strength to protect themselves or the lowest health ally around them, granting a damage shield that absorbs 26,100 damage. The cooldown for this is also at 7 seconds. This skill is a massive damage shield. But as you can see, there is an asterisk to this, and that is that it's only used when Ember or an ally is below 25% health. So whenever she has somebody in an emergency type of situation that needs a massive heal and a massive, damage shield right now, this skill will be active. And I gotta say that 26,100 damage shield that she applies is absolutely massive. This is here more for an emergency purpose, but if your health was to drop down that low, she's got you covered with this damage shield. In the number 3 slot, we have Quick Fix. Quick Fix reads as, Ember patches themselves or an ally with restorative magic healing for 9,960 health. This is just plain and simple a pretty massive burst heal for a companion. This also has a cooldown of 7 seconds, so it is a very good burst heal, because it is able to be active very, very fast. It has a very big turnaround. So if you're in need of a burst heal right now, she will be able to apply this. It is only applied though, or she only activates it when an enemy or when an ally or her is below 75% health. So she will be using this quite often should your health be at 75% health or lower. But this is a very good burst heal for anybody who needs a very quick burst of almost 10,000 health. And the fact that it is at 7 second cooldown just makes it that much better. In the number 4 slot, we have Shared Wards. Shared Wards reads as Ember conjures wards made of energy for protection, granting a damage shield for them and their nearby allies that absorbs 4,350 damage for 6 seconds. The targets affected by the damage shield are also healed for 4,977 health over 8 seconds. This skill, really quick though, it does have a 10.4 second cooldown, so it is slightly lower than average, or higher, lower than average, so it's a really good cooldown. But this skill is 100% unique in the sense that it applies a damage shield, an okay damage shield for 6 seconds. But on top of the damage shield, anybody who is actually affected by the damage shield is also healed for a 4,977 health over 8 seconds. So it's another heal over time to apply for you. That way you guys can have essentially another hot to keep your health up at any given point. So this gives you a damage shield and a heal over time on top of your heal over time for rejuvenation, and your burst heal of quick fix. You can already see that she has a very good amount of heals on deck. Slightly different than your average healer though, but it is nice nonetheless. This skill, highly recommend this because of its double duty that it's pulling off. Gives you a damage shield and heals you at the same time. Last but not least, in terms of your regular skills, is Reverse Entropy. Reverse Entropy reads as Ember envelops an ally with stabilizing magic, healing them for 14,935 health over 8 seconds. Right off the bat, this is a massive heal over time for anybody, and it is over a duration of 8 seconds. Even though the cooldown is at 10.4 seconds, there is a 2.4 second overlap there, so not really a big gap in between activation of this skill. So this skill, for the amount of healing that it does with the cooldown attached to it, is absolutely fantastic. This is going to be your main source of massive heals. Your main source is going to be rejuvenation, because this skill is going to be what she uses more effectively, in my opinion. However, this is just as effective, if not maybe a little bit better, because it has more heals that is able to be applied. So she has effectively 3 heals over time with Reverse Entropy, Shared Wards, and of course rejuvenation. She's got an emergency damage shield and a burst heal to add on top of that, with a little damage shield on top of that too. So this really has a very good tool set in terms of healing and self-defense or protection for you or her as well. Great build, in my opinion, highly recommended. In terms of her ultimate, Raging Storm. Ember creates a thunderstorm that follows the target, striking all enemies within for 1,680 shock damage every 1 second for 8 seconds. The final strike deals 300% additional damage to enemies under 25% health. So not only is this applying a tick of damage over time of 1,680 shock damage every 1 second for 8 seconds, but it's also acting as an execute for any enemy that's under 25% health, which increases the overall damage by 300%, which is a massive amount if the enemy is under 25% health, which is absolutely fantastic. This is great, in my opinion, for trash mobs, but it is just a good overall ultimate, in my opinion. This is the only ultimate on top of that you can actually have for companion as well. So this is Even though it's the only ultimate you can have, it's still a good one nonetheless. Let's go ahead and check out her gear. In terms of gear, I like to emulate the way I build my own normal builds on my companions. What I mean by that is simple. Whenever I build a setup for my own builds, I like to go with 2 5-piece sets and a 2-piece monster set. Since monster sets aren't really a thing for companions, we'll just call it a 2-piece. So we will have 2 5-piece sets and a 2-piece. So for the 2-piece head and shoulders, we have Soothing, which increases healing done by 1.7%, and it isn't light because of the armor passive, which increases healing done for 1% for each piece of light armor equipped. It also, on top of that, decreases the cooldown of break free by 5% for each piece of armor. That's not really as important as the healing done, however, but still important nonetheless. So it's important that we have light armor equipped for that passive to be working. But Soothing is our trait of choice because it increases healing done by 1.7% for each piece worn, assuming you have purple gear equipped. In terms of your first 5-piece set, we have, lo and behold, Soothing again in light armor, all 5 pieces in light armor, because again, that is going to increase the potency of your heals by 1.7% for each individual piece that you have on, and we have 7, which is absolutely increasing a massive amount of potency for your individualized heals and your heal over time. So it's really, really good in my opinion. In terms of your jewelries and weapon, we have Quickened. Quickened is absolutely imperative for reducing the cooldown of your individual skills, therefore allowing her to keep her skills up at any given time. Therefore, whenever she uses her abilities, it'll be that much quicker before she can use it yet again. So Quicken is very important. It reduces the ability cooldown by 2.6%. For the weapon is going to be the same thing, Quicken, but it is considered a 2-piece set. So because of that, the ability cooldown reduction is reduced by 5.2% instead of 2.6. This collaboratively with Soothing really ends up being a very good blend of both heals and ability cooldowns. If you feel like you want a little bit faster cooldowns, I would sacrifice or flex out the head and shoulders for some quickened pieces, and then just keep a 5-piece of Soothing. But this, I find, works great nonetheless. However, if you prefer a little bit faster ability cooldowns, that's what I would flex out, is the head and shoulders for some quickened. With that being said, let's go over to the house and check out her fashion. Alright guys, in terms of fashion, she is rocking a Crown Shop costume, which is called New Moon's Crossed Sash Robe. In terms of dyes, she is using Sulfur Pools Yellow, Recipe Reaper Red, and Vex Mystic Blue. I can't pronounce that, so there's that. In terms of her weapon, she is using Khajiit Staff 4 and Sulfuric Pools Yellow, Blood Gold, and Divine Gold. Let me know down in the comment section what you guys think of this specific fashion. With that being said, let's go over and fight a world boss and see how effective she is at keeping my heals up. And there you have it, guys. The Shock Therapy build has officially been completed here on the channel. As you guys saw in the boss fight, she had no issues whatsoever keeping my health up while I was fighting and tanking the boss. Very, very well she did in the healing department. Definitely kept my heals up remarkably, so I'm definitely pleasantly surprised in that sense. But I'm not really at the same time, because again, Ember is one of those companions that can fit any role, and because she has such a diverse set of skills, she can fit in just fine. If you enjoyed this video though, do me a huge favor, drop a like on this video. Also subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed, because it really does help this channel grow. So with that being said, catch you guys in the next one. Deuces.